Y'all really made Chloe Bailey cry based off of ridiculous judgment, and I just literally hate y'all right now.
I told ya.
Hey y'all, it's Verda. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the tribe, and if you are returning to FiercelyV, welcome back. So happy to have you as usual. This is my first video that I'm filming in front of my new little flower wall that I created. So if you guys are following me on social media, you know that I've been in the throes of basically like a week-long home redecoration project or whatever. I'm actually in the process right now of compiling all the before and after pictures and stuff that I took, and I'll get that posted one day. Maybe this week, hopefully this week. I'll be able to get that posted, but it's a lot of pictures. But anywho, one of the main things that I wanted to do with my redecoration project was create a space in my apartment specifically for filming, because I've been just filming just like in front of my sectional. So I wanted an actual setup for filming. So that is what I created with my little flower wall. Basically, I just took a corner of my living room and I turned it into a space for like filming and photos and stuff like that. By me living in a one-bedroom apartment, and like I have to maximize every piece of space that I have. So like that's like my main thing when it comes to decorating, is making sure that I can utilize like every single corner of space in my apartment for something useful, because I'm limited, right? So yeah, I wanted a filming space. I don't have a room specifically for filming, so I took a corner of my living room and I was like, this is it. So yeah, keep your eye out for if you're into DIY, home decor, all that good stuff. I did take lots of footage of me creating this flower wall that's behind me, and just everything else that I switched up in here and stuff. So yeah. Hey, so enough of the happy. Okay, y'all know why we're here. We're here to drag, okay? And the reason we're gonna drag is because y'all on the internet really had Chloe Bailey of Chloe and Halle crying on the internet because y'all were judging her, calling her a hoe, and all this stuff, just because she decided to do the Busted Challenge, and she posted a couple little cute videos of her, dancing around in her new, I guess she has a new place, I think. Either way, the judgment she's received has been so ridiculous, and it literally had her on the internet in tears trying to explain herself because of the extent to which y'all like literally were just judging and bullying this poor girl. So basically, the backstory of this incident. Now, if you don't know who Chloe and Halle are, they are a group, two sisters, super adorable girls. They most recently had a song called "Do It" that was pretty popular last summer or the summer before last. I don't know. 2020 was a blur. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I don't know. But recently, they had a hit called "Do It." That was kind of like their first more mainstream hit. I think most of their other songs, it was like, their fans knew their stuff, but it wasn't really mainstream. Like, I never heard any of their songs like on the radio until that one. But I knew who Chloe and Halle were because they got their popularity. I remember specifically a viral video that they did that was a cover of Pretty Hurts by Beyonce. And that was pretty much the video that kind of catapulted them into stardom. It got Beyonce's attention. She ended up signing them to her label and kind of took them under her wing. And you can really tell that Beyonce is a big influence over them just in their sound, their look, all that good stuff. So she pretty much took them under her wing and they kind of started, their career started to grow from there. They're on the show Grownish. And Halle, the younger sister of Chloe, she's she was cast as Ariel in the live action Little Mermaid movie, and that was like a huge thing because of course the non-melanists were outraged that, oh my god, a black woman as Ariel. So that was a whole thing. So that was another big thing that had the two of them in the media. But basically I think among like Generation Z, they're a lot more known because, like I said, they're on Grownish. They've got music out and stuff like that. Millennials like me maybe don't quite know them as well, but I happen to follow them on social media, so I'm aware of who they are, right? Don't necessarily listen to all of their music, but do it with a bop, okay? And they're definitely talented. Like, they're talented. They got vocals, okay? They're gorgeous. Like, love them, right? So they've had a Instagram page that was linked. It was a Chloe Halle Instagram page. They posted photos of the both of them. You know, it was their kind of group Instagram page. But, you know, they're getting older. I believe Chloe is 21 and Halle is 20 or about to be 20. And, you know, they're getting older. They decided to go ahead and get separate Instagram pages. Now, me personally, I think another reason they probably went ahead and split the Instagram pages is because I think Chloe is a little bit older and she wants to post a little bit, she wants to post more, you know, I don't want to say adult content because that makes it sound like some XXX type stuff, but I think she wants to post things that are a little more risque. And I think with Halle being cast as Ariel in The Little Mermaid, I think that it wouldn't necessarily be good for that brand image for them to post more risque stuff on their joint Instagram page. So I think that probably, I mean, this is just my guess, but I'm feeling like that probably had a lot to do with them going ahead and splitting the pages so that Chloe could, you know, post what she truly wants to post and Halle can still keep that image that's like Disney friendly. You know what I mean? So I think that probably has a lot more to do with them splitting their Instagram pages. And then not only that, it's just the fact that these are two individual women. They're coming into womanhood. They're getting older. They're coming into adulthood. Their personalities are probably different. I mean, I think you can tell just by like watching them on stage, seeing pictures of them. You can kind of tell that they have some different personality types. And I think it was probably just important for them to go ahead and separate their accounts so they could have that level of individuality, right? So totally, that's cool. It's cool, right? So Chloe gets her own Instagram. And the Instagram streets were here for it. They were like, yes, she got her own Instagram and she immediately did the Bust It challenge and was like, yes, the internet streets were here for it. They were like, yes. People have always kind of looked at Chloe in a different light than Halle just because Chloe's persona is a lot more fierce, right? She's a very curvy young lady. When she finally got her own Instagram and she came out like, bow, you know what I'm saying? People were here for it. They were like, yes, girl, we've been waiting on this. We've been waiting for you to unleash all that, you know. After that, there were a couple other posts that Chloe made. There was another little dancing challenge that she made that was really cute, and a couple other pictures that she posted. And people just turned on her immediately. And it's so funny how it happens because social media is like that, right? You do something and everyone's like,
Yes, we're here for it.
and then literally 10 seconds later, it's like,
okay, we're over it. We don't like this shit no more.
like, that's how fast social media be over it with people. And it seems like that's what happened with Chloe. It's like she came out, everybody was here for it, like, yes, girl, you got your own Instagram, you're grown and sexy, whatever. And literally the next day, people were like, okay, now you're doing too much, you're attention seeking. And, I think that kind of, if you've been on social media for a while, you probably expected that. That's how social media do. But then the backlash started to turn a lot more judgmental and a lot more slut shamey. There was some ridiculous woman, and I have to say ridiculous woman because I'm so irritated at the fact that this tweet came from a woman. But the tweet said something to the effect of, oh, it's corny that you're doing the whole good girl gone bad thing. Women need to know that it's okay to be modest and you don't have to be a whore to get attention, things like that. That's the basis of what the tweet said. As a result of this, Chloe ended up making her own post. She made a video on Instagram to basically respond to some of that kind of backlash that she was receiving. And she was so affected by it that she was crying and she was explaining herself and basically just like letting people know, like, y'all, I'm just like, it's not even like that.
And for so long, I used to think I was like fat and like I used to hate my stretch marks and my cellulite. I'm not gonna cry. But it's like now I really love who I am. I take it as a huge compliment that you all even think of me as a sexual, sexy being. And, it's never, I don't post what I post for people to, I don't post what I post to get attention. So you all seeing what I'm posting is just me being me. I'm such a nerd and I'm not worldly at all. Like, ask anyone who knows me, they think I'm like 50 years old in the head. But when I perform and when I make music and when I dance, that's when I get to tap into the sexier side of myself. And that's where I find my confidence. I'm not gonna cry this time because y'all know I be crying. So it really means a lot to me when I can finally get to a place where I share who I really am. And I've been like really insecure for a long time. And I'm finally like at that place where I have self-confidence. I'm not gonna cry. And I'm really happy that I get to share that with you all. And I think it's so important and so special. And even when I posted the video yesterday, I was posting it because I was saging and doing Palo Santo. And I was like, let's spread positive vibes. I didn't even really notice you all would talk about my because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just walking in for 1 second, 2 seconds, And I feel like I've shown my more than I have with that. Like if you look at our performance videos, the last performance we had in December, like I was just so excited and on stage and just being myself. So I don't know. I just felt it was important to address it so you guys get to kind of get to know who I am more.
So I just have so many thoughts when it comes to this. The very first thing that comes to mind is this idea of women being considered sluts or whores or whatever based off the most minimal of things. Like, it's so crazy that you don't have to do nothing to be considered a whore. This is a young girl who is an artist. She's a performer. She's a musician. She's naturally curvy. She looks amazing. And literally participating in an internet challenge where you're just dancing, posting photos of her just vibing, dancing around her house, that's enough for her to be considered a whore. Like, that's all it takes. And, it's just so crazy to me when we talk about this concept of slut shaming. This just really shows how it is used as a weapon to force women into modesty or being embarrassed about their body, their physique, their sexuality. Like, this is a 21-year-old young woman. She looks amazing. Her body looks amazing. If she wants to dance around on her Instagram page, let her dance around on her Instagram page. It shouldn't even be a thing. But people have bought into this idea that if you are a woman and you are outwardly sexual, that's a negative thing. That's a bad thing. A lot of people came at her from a Christian perspective and were like, "Oh, you're a Christian. You don't need to be out here doing worldly stuff and da da da." And even in her video, she mentioned a couple times, I believe in God. I'm not worldly at all. And I hate that she even had to explain that. I hate that she even felt the need to even say that, because you're a human and you are a young woman, you're beautiful, and sexuality exists within you, whether you're a Christian or not. And at the end of the day, people are going to sexualize her anyway because she's curvy. And that's the other thing that, irritates me about this whole situation. She don't have to do much to be sexualized. She could literally post a regular ass picture in a regular ass outfit, and the internets are going to sexualize her regardless because she's curvy. And that's out of her control. That is her body shape, right? And I know that plays a part in it, because there have been other, prominent like celebrity women and entertainers that have done the Bust It Challenge that were not as curvy as her, and it was received very differently. One person specifically that comes to mind is Gabrielle Union. She did the Bust It Challenge, and Gabrielle Union, she's thin, less curvy. It wasn't received the same way that Chloe's was received, because Chloe's body, there are people who are automatically gonna look at Chloe's body and think sex because she's curvy. People are not automatically looking at a less curvy body and thinking sex. So the odds are already stacked against her no matter what she does. Like I said, she can literally post a photo that's just regular clothes, regular outfit. Because her body looks a certain way, people are going to over sexualize it no matter what. And that's how the internet works. It's not about what you're actually trying to portray. It's 100% about how people perceive it. And it sucks because this is a young girl. She's been attached to her sister as part of the group. She's finally being able to have some individuality. She sees all these people doing this challenge on the internet. She decides to join in, and she's immediately slut-shamed for it and judged for it. And it's like, what does that do to someone who's 21 years old, who's just coming into womanhood, who's just coming into their own, who's, deciding how they want to present themselves still? Because think about it, when you're 21, you're still trying to figure out who you are. You're still trying to figure out how you want to present yourself to the world. You're still trying to figure out, do I want to be more modest? Do I want to be more overtly sexual? How do I want to be? Like, when I think of, me being 21, those were the college years. Those were years where I was just trying to figure out who I was. The way I dressed changed. The way I presented myself changed. Like, so many things about me changed because I was still figuring everything out, right? But I had the space and opportunity to do that. It's really unfortunate that as Chloe tries to step out and figure out, who she's going to be in womanhood, she's immediately shut down and slut-shamed about it. And it's really unfortunate that not only did the internet, it's unfortunate that this happened at all, but it's also unfortunate that she obviously was affected by it because she's on video crying about it. And it was coming from women. I think certain things, we expect men to do certain things. We expect men to come from a place of patriarchy and misogyny. We expect that. But it really sucks when it's coming from other women, especially at that pivotal age for her, where older women who have been there should be like uplifting her, and she should be able to look to older women for direction. And older women should be telling her like, hey girl, yes, your 20s, that's figure out who you are, experiment, learn yourself, do your thing. Like, that's the kind of support that you would think older women would be giving to a 21-year-old girl who's just coming into her own. But instead, she's met with judgment. And I just really hate that for her, because I know that at that pivotal age, that's going to affect her. It's going to affect her so much, and it's going to affect her, how free she feels to really express herself at a time in her life when she should be free to really express herself. And, like I said, I really hate that for her. And it's really, really, really unfortunate that other women do this to young girls. And my thing is, if you're a millennial or older, what was your mindset at 21? Just think about what your mindset was at 21 years old. I can tell you that at 21 years old, I was in college. I was partying every weekend. Baby, the clothes was skin tight, the shorts was short, the heels was high. Okay? That, because I was figuring it out. It was like, I'm an adult. My sexuality is new to me. I'm exploring it. I'm seeing how I want to dress, how I want to be. Like, but I had the freedom to do that. And now, a large part of it was that, social media when I was in college, when I was Chloe's age, wasn't what it is today. We weren't carrying, early on in college, right? Later on in college, social media was more of a thing for sure. But early on in college, we weren't carrying smartphones in our pocket and snapping pictures of every single thing we were doing. So everything wasn't out there for the world to see. Some stuff was, right? But hell, when I was a freshman in college, you had to take a picture on a digital camera, plug the digital camera into your computer, upload that junk, save it, then post it to social media. It wasn't like take a picture with your phone and then click it's on Facebook. It wasn't like that then. So it was different. But the reality is, we live in an age right now where social media is a normal part of most people's everyday lives, especially somebody that's an entertainer. Part of her job is to be present online. So it should be an expectation that she's gonna post. A lot of people were saying things like, well, don't put so much on the internet if you don't want to be judged. No, she's an entertainer. Her internet presence is a large part of her job. So she shouldn't be told not to post so much if you don't want to be judged. She should be able to post however much she wants. And she should not be judged, because there's nothing to judge her for. Nothing of what she posted or what she did makes her a slut or a whore or a whatever. And at the end of the day, if she wasn't super curvy and her body wasn't like wham bam thank you ma'am, people probably wouldn't even have made the types of comments they made. So you're already punishing her for something she really can't even control. She can't help it that she's curvy. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being curvy. We do this to women, especially Black women, especially young Black women. We have this thing where we punish them for how they look. If you're a young woman and you're curvy, you're told that you got to be even more modest. If you're less curvy, you don't have to be as modest, because people aren't automatically looking at you like that, right? But if you're curvier, if you're thicker, there's more of an expectation put on you that, oh, you got to be even more modest because people are already going to look at your body and think sex. But that's not her problem. That's not her problem. It shouldn't be her problem. That's the problem of everybody who's just automatically sexualizing her body. Like, if you're automatically sexualizing her body, you need to take that up with yourself internally. But she shouldn't have to overcompensate in modesty to counterbalance the fact that people are automatically looking at her a certain way. We do this too often, especially to Black girls. I can recall being at jobs where the dress code, there was basically two dress codes. There was a dress code for black women and a dress code for white women. And the reason I say that is because I have been in jobs where less curvy non-black girl could come to work in a shorter dress and it look one way and nobody think anything of it. But if a curvier black girl wore that same dress, it's gonna look a lot different cause she gonna have a lot more going on under there. And it's like you're punished because of your body shape. You're punished because you're curvier. The same thing with young black girls and shorts. I have seen so many younger 11, 12, 13-year-old non-black girls wear the shortest of shorts, but they were real thin. And then you take a black girl of that age who's a lot of times a lot more curvy just genetically, and them shorts ain't gonna look the same. But it's like we punish them for it. We say, look, you can't wear what she wear because you're naturally curvy, so you gonna have to overcompensate in modesty because people are gonna look at you and sexualize you. And it's like we make that their problem. You know, it's like, hey, young black girl, you're curvy and you gonna have to figure that out. And it's like, why do I gotta figure it out? How about the people that are looking at me, you know, and automatically sexualizing my body? Maybe they need to figure some stuff out. But that's what we put the onus on young girls. And, you know, in the video, Chloe was talking about how, you know, she never liked her body. She always felt self-conscious about it because she was curvier, she was bigger. And, you know, I feel like, you know, for me personally, I didn't necessarily have that same issue because I didn't start to gain weight until college years. I was pretty thin most of my life. But I definitely know other young girls who either they developed much earlier or they were just naturally thicker, naturally more curvy, and they pretty much all have that same story. They struggle with their body image as a young girl because on the one hand, you're comparing yourself to other girls your age and you're saying, okay, their body looks like this, but mine looks like this. What does that mean? Then you have Eurocentric beauty standards that are working against you, telling you that you need to be rail thin. And if you're curvier, then you're equating that to, okay, well, I'm fat, you know? And European beauty standards say that fat is bad. So you grow up thinking that your body is, you know, not as good as a thinner girl's. Or you have to deal with people just over sexualizing you, creepy ass old men looking at you a certain way, or older guys trying to talk to you even though you're like 12, you know, just because, you know, you developed more. And it's sad to hear young women have that similar story of that, you know, their body was such a issue for them. And then they finally get older and they grow to appreciate it as they grow into womanhood. And they're like, you know, no, I love my body. I like my body. And then the second they actually show appreciation towards it, they're slut shamed back into submission. It's like, nope, go hate your body again. And I feel like that's what the internet is doing to Chloe. She's had this tumultuous relationship with her body already as a young black woman growing up in Eurocentric beauty standards and over-sexualization of black girls, which we know exists statistically. We know that exists. And there's already an over-sexualization of black girls, but she's a curvy black girl. So just multiply that times 1,000, right? And so she's already grown up with this tumultuous relationship with her body. And then she comes into womanhood. Here she is, 21 years old, finally like, no, I like my body, you know? And the second she steps out in appreciation of it, she's shut right back down. It's like, no, go hate that shit again, because now we're about to slut shame you. And I just hate that so much. I hate it so much. And like I said, if this were coming from men, I could be like, misogynist men go misogynize. But that it's coming from women, it just makes it even even more awful because we know better. Women, we know better. We've been there. Even if you don't have the exact same set of experiences as her, if you didn't have the same relationship with your body, you know, like I said, me personally, I was thinner growing up. So I didn't start to gain weight until college. So I didn't have the exact experience as her, but I still had that love-hate experience with my body to where, you know, once I did start to develop, you have creepy older guys looking at you a certain way. You have people sexualizing you in a weird ass way that you don't understand and you're not comfortable with. You can't wear certain outfits that, you know, your Caucasian classmates can wear because you got some natural curves and stuff. And, you know, so I know how she feels. I get that. Like, I get that, you know, you get older, you get into womanhood, and you're like, you know what? I like my body. And it's just really sad for her to just be shut down like that and shamed for just appreciating her natural beauty. And I just really hate that. Women should know better. Women should know better. It's just really sad. It's just really sad. I hope that she's got, you know, people in her ear telling her that these internet trolls are full of shit. I hope that she knows that they're just full of shit. And a lot of it is really, you know, as much as I hate the overuse of the word hating, a lot of it is hating. And I'm just going to keep it a stack, okay? A lot of it is hating. She's a gorgeous young woman. Her body is amazing. It is phenomenal. Women are paying money, getting injected with shit to look like her. And you have women sitting at home watching this young, gorgeous 21-year-old girl appreciating her body, and they're salty. They're salty for several reasons. One, because they don't look like that and they wish they did. Two, because they care so much about what society and misogyny says they should and shouldn't do that they're not going to do the busted challenge because they don't want to be slut shamed. So when they see her doing it, they're like, oh, let me slut shame her because I'm mad that she can do it and I can't. At the end of the day, I think that's so much of what this is about. And I think that's the case when it comes to a lot of celebrity women, even when you get to your Lizzos and your Meg Thee Stallions and, you know, a lot of the things that women specifically, now this is specifically about the women. Now men, they just misogynizing usually, right? But when it comes to women who do this to other women, a lot of times it's because they are not bold enough to do the silhouette challenge or the busted challenge or whatever because they're afraid of what society is going to say about them. So when they see another woman actually just doing what the hell they want, it enrages them. It's like, no, if I'm bound by misogyny and forced into modesty, then you need to be too. And that's what it is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. When people are so bound by misogyny and this faux modesty that we pretend to have in public so that people don't judge us, when you have bound yourself up in that way and prevent yourself from like doing what the hell you want to do, it makes you mad when you see other people doing what the hell they want to do. And I think that's why people get so irritated with Lizzo and they get so irritated with Meg Thee Stallion and they're so irritated with Chloe Bailey because they see these women out here just being themselves, being sexual, appreciating their body in public, and they're like, man, I wish I could do that, but I would get judged and called a slut, and I don't want to. So now I'm mad at them for being able to do something I can't. So now I'm going to go on the internet and troll them for it. And at the end of the day, that's what a lot of it is about. The whole idea of this person's tweet saying, there's nothing wrong with being modest. Nobody said there was anything wrong with being modest. And Chloe Bailey doing the busted challenge doesn't scream modesty is bad. To equate those two, to equate Chloe Bailey doing the busted challenge and just, you know, being sexy online, to equate that to a modesty is bad message is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And but that's what people do when they're trying to prove a point that's not there. They just they conflate things, right? All of a sudden, women being sexy on the internet is an attack on modesty. Nobody's saying you can't be modest. There are plenty women online that are modest. At the end of the day, as the saying goes, you do not have to dim another woman's light so that yours can shine, okay? Both y'all can shine. You can be modest over here and Chloe Bailey can be sexy over here, and y'all will be just fine. But when you have jealousy in your heart, and when you have hate in your heart, and when you wish you could be free enough to do things that you see other women do, that's when that judgment seeps in. So I really hope that Chloe, really talks to some women that can really let her know that, look, girl, don't take that shit personally, because we get it. We've been there. We understand. Do you love yourself, love your body, figure out who you are, do your thing. Because a lot of older women, especially, like, y'all was out here on that same shit. Y'all just didn't have a smartphone in your pocket so that it could be documented for Instagram. I would love to see women that are my age, millennials or older, embracing these young women through their 20s. Because, man, how awesome would it have been to have that, right? How awesome would it have been at that age to have older women who were like, girl, I get it. This is how it is in your early 20s. Just actually supporting through that weird ass phase of life where you're literally trying to figure out who you are. Your early 20s are tricky. They're so tricky. And I can imagine that being in the public eye and being a celebrity, they're even more tricky. And society is trash anyway, and society is gonna judge you. But the last thing you need is for other Black women to judge you. Ultimately, y'all gotta chill. Leave these young girls alone. Let these young girls get online. Let them be sexy. Let them do their thing. It ain't hurting nobody. If you choose to be modest, be modest. If you choose to be sexier, be sexy. If you don't know which you want to be, then you could be modest on Tuesday and sexy on Wednesday. It's totally up to you. Be whoever you choose to be. And if you're early 20s and still deciding, girl, do you figure out who you're gonna be? It's okay. It's okay. That is what your early 20s are for. So, I hope that Chloe really has, some women that can really, take her under their wing and just really let her know that, like, girl, just ignore these internet folks, because they're trash. Anyways, end rant there. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. If you guys haven't yet hit like and you liked the video, make sure that you like it, and also make sure that you're subscribed to the tribe, because we have fun over here at FiercelyV and you want to be a part of it. And also, I'm recording a lot of videos today, so we're gonna have a lot of content coming out, so stay tuned. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.